wanting to experience more and knowing that we're not meant to do this alone.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chronicles of the High-Powered Female CEO. This is episode 4, and I'm just so excited about what we've created so far and the community that we're forming around women who are successful, who are affluent, who are building wealth, and releasing some of the walls and the judgment and the pressure that currently still exists in our climate. And today we're bringing on Holly. Welcome, Holly.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So glad to have you. So introduce yourself as how people typically know you. Who people typically know you as?
So my name is Holly, and people typically know me as the creator and owner of May Band, which is a maternity band that temporarily transforms your regular jeans into maternity jeans. It's typically a bestseller on Amazon, one of the top 10 in the maternity band, like belly band category. People also typically know me as the mom of Kjar Crew, which is a YouTube channel with about 600,000 subscribers right now. So,
wow, that's so cool. So this is where I want to just dive right in and talk about how it's been for you forming a 7+ figure business and being a mom of 6, right?
Yeah, mom of 6.
So amazing. Tell us I would just be interested in hearing even just a little of your story, like, forming the business and stuff.
Yeah, sure. So we had 3 kids, and then with my 4th pregnancy, that was in 2012, and that was actually when I created the May Band. While I was pregnant, just wanting to wear my own jeans, and then my daughter that I was pregnant with, her name is Maylee, and so I kind of like named it after her as May Band, belly band, and then like worked really hard, went through a lot of struggles. During that time, I was homeschooling my boys because I was a teacher before that. But I had quit that when I had my 3rd child. I was like, oh, this is like, I don't want to be away, from the home when I have kids and like small kids. So I decided to stay home. But I think just being home got me restless, and I first went to homeschooling, and then after that came up like with this business idea and really kind of felt inspired and led by God. It was like a lot of it was prayer and like how I was going to start it and what to name it. And so yeah, I created that. And then I was homeschooling and like creating this business, and then my husband had his business, and then I was helping him with his business for a few years, doing my business, homeschooling. And then he decided a couple years ago he was done. Like his business was plowing and landscaping. And he was like, I'm getting older. Like I'm done. Like I need to. So that was a lot of prayer on like, where do we go next? And then we felt drawn and led to start this YouTube channel. And so we did that a couple years ago, and just like had never really like filmed anything, never edited a video. Like we didn't really know what we were doing, and my husband started it, and Mayband was able to support that transition. So that we were able to start, because I mean we had no income from that YouTube for about a year, and so Mayband helped us give up his job and be able to take it that way. And now YouTube is really successful. I mean, they're both really successful, and we have 2 more kids since we started YouTube. So now it's 6. So we have 6 kids, and yeah, just like a lot of fun craziness.
I am like, it's so easy to say in one sentence, we homeschooled and I helped him with my business and I helped him with his business and I grew my business. Like you could say that in one sentence, but it's like, there is a lot in that sentence.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of tears and sweat and fear and excitement and joy and Yeah, just like so many emotions going into that and a lot of time.
You had shared before we started actually taping here that you haven't felt too much judgment from people outside of yourself, but you have felt a lot from yourself,
Yeah.
uh, juggling the mom and career woman.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
do that?
Yeah, definitely. I think I don't think I've had too much judgment outside because I homeschool my kids, so they are home all the time. But then there's people outside that aren't in the house and don't really see what's going on, and like it's it's hard juggling that. I'm always feeling guilty, like I'm not giving my little ones enough time and attention, or because my youngest are ages 2 and 3, and so I pay every morning my 13-year-old, she's homeschooled, so I pay her every morning to watch the kids so I can get work done, like the younger ones, and then she does her schooling in the afternoon. But there's so much guilt in hiring and like bringing someone else outside of the home in, and I know that that's something I need to do, and I've been working on the last few months because it's just like it's so overwhelming, especially on filming days, where my 13-year-old, she's part of filming, and that's kind of like her job as well when we're doing like family filming for our YouTube channel.
Mhm.
And then on those days it's really hard for me to be there and support and filming, and then also watching the two younger ones, and but I just like have so much guilt that I do not want to bring someone in to like love on my babies. Like for some reason I feel like it's okay if my daughter is doing it, it's okay if I pay her to love on my babies. But if I like hires this stranger and bring her or him like into my house, I don't know. There's just, yeah, there's a lot of guilt in that. And
I feel like any mother watching right now knows what you're expressing. I
mhm,
know I do. I have 4 kids, and it's this, it is a constant juggling act, and just, the heaviness I can feel in your heart as you share that.
yeah.
Thanks for just being willing to be so vulnerable with that. Do you feel, like, what do you feel like an ideal scenario would be? There needs to be, like, 7 of you or something, right?
Exactly. That was one of like when as I've been looking for people, one of my like ads was like looking for a clone of myself because I just want someone there that can like have 2 extra hands and just do, and maybe like I don't want someone that's always going to be watching my babies, because I want to watch my babies too. And, I want someone that will sometimes watch my babies as needed, but also then sometimes clean as I need that. And sometimes make dinners as I need that. And there's just like, sometimes work on Mayband with me as I need to create and do like social media and TikToks and like reels. And like, I'm juggling that. And I feel like I'm so behind on that because we do so much recording and videoing for our YouTube channel, and sometimes it'd be nice to have help with that. And then
Mhm,
like our YouTube social media is just like we don't put enough time in that, and so
mhm.
it's just like so many things, and I feel like they're all happening at once, and none of them is really getting like the best of me or my full and complete attention. And like they're growing and they're doing well, but it's hard because I'm kind of more like I like to focus on things and just be fully present. And right now I'm not feeling like fully present anywhere. I'm just juggling everything.
Mhm. I think, this idea of it's so hard for me to hire help and it's so hard for me to accept help is a theme that I hear all the time in these interviews and as I've worked with clients where, we know what benefit that would give us, but there's so many barriers. What do you think is the source or the root of that difficulty for women? Like why we shouldn't need the help and we like feel like we can't do it. We can't get that help.
Yeah. I think we just feel such a responsibility to our children and to, our husbands, and like wanting to be fully there for them. But then I also think that's why we create these businesses, so we can support our husband and children and like have that family life that we want. And
That's it, right? And no one says that to women. That's the thing that I find fascinating is, like, oh, you're doing all this to support your family. That's amazing, Holly, right? Instead, you definitely would hear a man, with those kind of compliments, like, oh, you spend all the time away from your family so that you can build this life for your family. Like, good job. You're such a good father. But when it's a woman, you don't hear them saying that. And I feel like, let's like say, I'm saying it to you right now, and I'm saying it to me right now, and anyone who's watching, like, because it's the same values that are motivating us to do what we do.
you're right. You're right. Exactly. It's so true. And like, I don't feel other judgment from people on me, but I mean, you see that in the outside world. And so that's where you judge yourself. And
It's that internalized. So I call this internalized misogyny. Because when we were born, from the time we were born, it was like, you're not enough. You're going to have to work really hard in this world, and you're going to have to prove yourself. And, then Brene Brown's work, I think, really gave some, are you familiar with Brene Brown?
I'm not.
Oh, she's great. She did some research and found that even let's see, it was like 5 years ago, right? Even 5 years ago, the main pressure that women felt was to be small and meek and like, don't ruffle feathers. And then the last one was do it all and never let them see you sweat. And like, these are the voices of our shame, just always like on us. And that sucks. So we're breathing that in from every corner. So of course we internalize it. Of course that becomes our own internal dialogue of like, you're not enough. You need to work harder. Why do you need help? Just all the things.
Exactly. And then you see it on social media too, all these. And I definitely think that that's been changing lately, where when women are opening up more on social media and like showing, the places where they struggle in.
Right.
But even then, like when you see all these women like showing the places they struggle in, they're still so successful, and you're like, oh, I need to be, like be successful like that. You're still like comparing, always, like always comparing yourself to others and the people that are better.
You're so open, and I appreciate this so much about you. So I want to ask you this question, and I always tell my interviewees, like, don't share more than you feel comfortable sharing. But I'm curious, like, what do you feel like is the biggest, how do I want to ask this? Like the biggest, like, kind of driver voice, or like the drill in your back voice about, you should be. What do you think that is, like, when you're comparing yourself or, whatever, like, what do you feel like that main, kind of pain is?
Like, I don't even know if I know. It's just like inside, just always nagging at me to be better. And like, and people watching, especially where I am, on YouTube, and I am doing this, like there's so many people like watching and like cheering me on. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to let them down. I don't want to let my kids down. I don't want to let my husband down. I don't want to let me down. I don't want to let God down. Like, it's just like everything. And I know God's not like that. Like, God just wants to support and love and help. But you still feel that sense of like, I want to do everything for you, everything that you want or need or ask, So I just think it's kind of like everywhere. I don't know if it's one specific thing for me.
I think so many relate to what you're sharing right now. It's like carrying the whole world on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing so openly. Especially because I would guess, and I haven't watched your YouTube. I can't wait to go like, subscribe, and become the next fan. But I would guess people have probably even seen you and thought the same thing, like, "She's so perfect." Like, so to just show up and be so real, what a gift,
Thank
Holly.
you. Thank you.
So, okay, I like to finish these interviews with one last little, kind of like peek into just who you are and your heart. What would you say, and this is just a fun question, what would you say has been one of the most fulfilling moments of your life?
Um, oh my gosh, like, I don't even know. Like, one thing? That's so hard to pick. Like, okay, just like family. Being there with family and working with my family and, like, reaching success with my family. Like, for me, it's all about my family and my kids, and I think that's why it's so hard to juggle and, like, that balance and that guilt, but that definitely is, like, yeah, that's super fulfilling for me to, like, have this business and, like, do YouTube with my kids and be able to, like, see them grow and see them, like, understand, and, like, work for things and, like, be together and, like, our common goals. It's super fun.
Ah, I love that so much.
Thank
It
you.
really is, right? It's not an either or, I think. In my experience, I relate with what you're saying, where like, we can't compartmentalize the parts of ourselves, because if we do, it's like, somebody has said this to me, it's like adding empty zeros. Like, you add zeros to the end of your income, but they're empty, right? But you like being able to incorporate, and it doesn't have to always look like, a family YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But I love that for you, that's the thing. It's like so cool. I'm like sitting here thinking, maybe my family should do a family channel. But being able to say, no, I am all of these things and I'm going to step into that, and it's going to look different than everyone else. But I refuse to be just the businesswoman and then just the mother. It's like all the things, because the greatest fulfillment is creating the success with your family. It's
Yeah.
both hats at once, mother and a business owner.
Yeah. It is. It's really awesome. It's fun and hard. Like, it's everything, it's every emotion.
Yeah.
It's not always perfect, and it can definitely be hard, being a mother to your kids and also, like, an employer of your children. So, there's balance in there too.
I bet. Well, I know my husband works in my company. He's our CFO. And it's that same thing. It's like, okay, I need to just put on the CEO hat for a minute and tell you some
Mhm.
things. And it's
Yeah.
the way that it comes across when I'm being the loving wife.
Yep.
I love that
Exactly.
so much. Thanks so much, Holly. Any last thing that you would want to share from what we've talked about so far?
I don't think so. Like, I've enjoyed it, and it's been really awesome being able to, talk to you and just reminding myself, you're definitely it's always good to, like, take a step back and remind yourself, because you're just like, as women, like, we're always going, going, going. And
Mhm.
so this interview has been really nice to just take that step back and have someone else, like, you know, tell you you're doing great. So thank
Yes,
you.
totally. Oh, I'm so, so glad. Good. Well, thank you so much, Holly. And thank you to everyone who's watching. Don't miss an interview. Go and subscribe. We'll put the link in the comments to the whole bank and database. And it's my intention with these interviews that we do create a community. We're even planning, I'm co-collaborating with Wendy Whitelaw, and we're planning a retreat in October for interviewees and those who watch, who feel drawn, kind of a, judgment-free space where we can actually just enjoy and embody our richness and our own divinity, like all together without the judgment and the walls and the things. And families are going to be invited because it's not compartmentalized. Doesn't that sound so
awesome? That does. That's amazing.
So please come and, stay connected to the community and stay connected to this space and don't miss an interview. And thanks again so much, Holly, for being with us today.
Thank you.